So Bo Nickal just got exposed by Rainer de Ritter. He just had one of the most disappointing performances. To put it quite simply, he didn't look like a fighter. He didn't want to be in there once the fight got tough and it wasn't going according to his way. I think Bo Nickal is going to have to think deeply about what kind of fighter he wants to be. He should know whether he has it in him to continue to fight once it gets tough. He also lost any mystique he had left. Many fans had already turned on him because they believed that he was getting better treatment by Dana White and the UFC, but he didn't have the skills to justify that treatment. Anything that Bo was telling the fans about his skills and why his performances looked the way that they looked, he can't say anymore. How he justified his performance against Paul Craig by saying it was impressive for him to outstrike Paul Craig and go the distance with his little experience, he can't say that anymore. It turns out that the fans were right. How he looked in his previous fights, even though he won, was enough of a reason to be concerned about his chances moving forward. Now some people are going to say it's harsh, the fans are being harsh, they wanted him to fail, and now they're celebrating it. But when you talk the way that he's talked, it happens to every fighter. I mean, he was talking about that he's going to be a minus 1,000 favorite against Khamzat Chimaev. Yeah, when you lose to Rainer de Ritter, who is a good fighter, you are going to get criticism. You are going to get people making fun of you for that. For example, now he's a much better fighter, but Ilia Topuria before the Volkanovski fight was saying crazy things about what he was going to do to him and how confident he was in himself. I just know that people had clips just ready to go that if he lost to Volk, that they were going to put it out there and it was going to be in one of those when trash talking goes wrong videos. I just know people had that ready. But he knocked Volk out, so he looks like a genius. But then even going forward with the Max Holloway fight, people were still saying that, the way he's talking about this, if he loses, they were going to make fun of him. And if he had, even after knocking out Volk, if he had lost to Max Holloway, all those clips of him talking about Max, people were going to criticize him for that. They were going to say, this guy talks better than he fights, even if he already knocked out Volkanovski. That Volkanovski knockout was just probably going to be viewed as, he beat an old Volk. He beat a Volk that was coming off of a knockout. Of course he's supposed to beat him. He's the younger fighter. And like I said earlier, Bo Nickal lost that mystique he had. Even if you didn't think he was that good of a fighter, he still hadn't lost yet. He was undefeated. And another problem with this is that Rainer de Ritter is better than what people think. Now what I mean by this is, I've heard Chael say this. I've heard Chael, I think it was Chael who said this before, but that the worst opponent to fight is one that you know is better than what the audience thinks. And the best opponent to face is one that you know isn't as good as everybody else thinks. The problem with fighting a guy that you know is good, but everybody else doesn't view him that way, is that if you beat him, everybody will say, yeah, you were supposed to do that. And if you lose, you'll get called a fraud. So I do think this fight encapsulated that by the fact that people aren't giving enough credit to RDR for how good he is, and rather just looking at it as Bo Nickal the fraud. Now I will say that there is some truth to that. Like I said earlier, Bo Nickal did not want to fight. It looked like once he started to get hit, he didn't want to be in there. And not every fight is going to go according to plan. And then we'll use the example of Khamzat Chimaev. All of Khamzat Chimaev's fight have not gone the way he wanted. That Gilbert Burns fight didn't go the way he wanted, but that fight showed us that he can dig deep. Even if he's losing, if it's a close fight, if it's a dog fight, Khamzat Chimaev can dig deep. And I don't think Bo Nickal has that in him. And if his wrestling isn't as dominant as he says it is, then you're not going to dominate guys. You are going to get in dog fights. You are going to get hit. And if it looks like you don't want to be in there, then this might not be the profession for you. I understand that I'm not a fighter, and I can't be one to say that somebody who stepped into the octagon isn't a fighter, but you have to be honest, it did look like that. Could this be a situation something similar to Jalen Turner? Turner is skilled, but when the fight wouldn't go his way, he just accepted defeat. He retired, and he said that he had been thinking about retiring for a while. I hope that's not the case for Bo Nickal, but it's definitely possible. He's got other ways to make money. He's popular. He doesn't have to fight in the UFC. And there is something to be said about how much he's progressed as a fighter. He doesn't look like a much better fighter than the first time we saw him. So I guess yeah, I'm questioning his dedication. Is he dedicated to this? Does he genuinely want to be a fighter, or does he just like being known as a fighter? Those are two different things. This could be the best thing for him. It could be. He has to accept the fact that the fans were right about his earlier performances. He can no longer just chalk the fans' criticism up to them just being haters, or them just preying on somebody to lose because they don't like his confidence, or there's just something about him that they don't like. He can't be delusional anymore. He has to accept the fact that the fans were right about his earlier performances. So it's up to him. He can use this as an opportunity to develop as a fighter and prove everybody wrong, or this could potentially be the beginning of the end of Nickal in the UFC.